Number 3. Mr. Torres makes 12 cups of rice and 8 cups of couscous for the soup kitchen. How many more cups of rice and couscous does Mr. Torres make? Okay, so it says it wants us to create an equation and then solve the problem. Use n for the unknown number. So our first equation needs to be, let's look at what we have. We know that we're trying to figure out how many more cups of rice and couscous does Mr. Torres make. We know that he makes 8 cups of couscous, so we're going to put an 8 here. And we're looking at our keyword is more, so we are adding. But we don't know how many more cups of rice, so that's our unknown. And then his total number of cups of rice was 12. So we want to know how many more cups of rice than couscous does he make. So now we're going to use an inverse operation to try to figure that out. So 12 subtract 8 equals n. So what is n, boys and girls? 4. So he makes 4 more cups of rice than couscous. Alright, number 4. Carrie spends 45 minutes making chicken noodle soup. That is 5 times as many minutes as she spends making a salad. How many minutes does Carrie spend making the salad? Let's look at our key words. 5 times as many, so we know we're multiplying. So now let's take our information that we have. We know she had 5 times as many minutes spent making a salad. So we're going to use the multiplication symbol. What we don't know is how many minutes she actually spent making the salad. So that's our unknown. But what we do know is that there were 45 minutes making chicken noodle soup. So here's our multiplication equation. Now we're going to do an inverse operation, and since we're multiplying, we're going to divide this time. So 45 divided by 5 equals n. And you should have gotten that n, our unknown number, was 9. Remember, using whatever strategy works best for you to answer this problem. Let's look at number 5. It says draw a line to match each comparison problem. So your comparison problems are written in with words to the equation using symbols that models it. So let's look at the first one. Sam has 18 cards. That is 3 times as many cards as Lena has. How many cards does Lena have? Well, first of all, we know 3 times as many. We're looking for a multiplication equation. So that kind of takes some of our answers out of the running. So we can look at this one, or this one as possible choices. So Sam has 18 cards. Well, that takes this one out of the running. So that one won't work. He has 3 times as many cards as Lena. So we gotta look at the last 2 equations. So 18 is our total number. 3 times as many as the number that we have. So the only possible equation that would match up to our comparison is this one. All right, let's look at the next one. Lena has 6 cards. Sam has 18 cards. How many more cards does Sam have than Lena? There's those keywords, so we know we're looking for an addition equation. Lena has 6 cards, Sam has 18. How many more cards does Sam have than Lena? So again, 18 should be our bigger number, so it should go after the equal sign. So we've got this one. We have this one. So those are our 2 choices there. Well, the other number that we have is that Lena has 6 cards. So this is the correct equation. Okay, let's look at the next one. Sam has 12 more cards than Lena. Lena has 6 cards. How many cards does Sam have? So there's a keyword again. I want you guys to get used to those keywords. Sam has 12 more cards, so we're looking for an addition equation. It says 12 more cards than Lena. Lena has 6 cards. How many cards does Sam have? There's our equation that matches. We're looking for the total number of cards that Sam has. All right, look at your next comparison. Lena has 6 cards. Sam has 3 times as many cards as Lena. How many cards does Sam have? 3 times as many. So we're looking for multiplication. So we have 3 options left. Okay, so here's this option, or this option. So let's look at your comparison again. She has 6 cards. Sam has 3 times as many. How many cards does Sam have? Well, let's look at what we have. We know that she has 6. He has 3 times as many. So we're looking for this product here. So that's the equation that matches the comparison. Alright, let's look at our next comparison. Sam has 12 more cards than Lena. Sam has 18 cards. How many cards does Lena have? So we only have 2 options left. So Sam has 12 cards. So we're looking at the 2 numbers that we have in our problem and which equation that's going to match. And then our last one, Sam has 18 cards, Lena has 6 cards. How many times as many cards does Sam have as Lena? And there's your final equation. Pay close attention to that. You may see something like that on our Module 3 test. So you might want to just put a little star by that. You may or you may not see something. Just keep an eye on it. Make sure that you have your answers correct.